Soldier Bond upgrade is available, chat, but first we gotta get through the promotions. So let's see. Looks like Croyd got a promotion and EW got a promotion. So Croyd, if you're still out there, I know you're normally lurking. But Croyd, if you're there, now is the time to tab back in. I know EW is here. So we'll get EW's promotion out of the way first. And then we'll go back for Croyd. Okay, there we go. Croyd's chiming in as well. So let's get EW. God damn it, EW. As always, his eyes are closed. Like, EW is just... The man is asleep constantly. He's just constantly asleep. And what message in chat with us, son Luke? Good to see you. What message? Thanks for joining us again on a Saturday. Hopefully the weekend is treating you well. Maybe it's his face. That's rude, Megas. Why would you say that? That's rude as fuck. Just gonna call this man's out like that and be like, you look like you're asleep. You got resting wrist face. Fucking rude. Anyway, EW. First sergeant rank. Almost made it to max. Let's see. Under the Titan tree, you've got redundant systems. The Spark no longer suffers any stat penalties from reboot. I don't think you have reboot though, do you? Oh no, you do. Okay, if you take enough damage to be killed, it will reduce your HP to 1 and you start shielded. I mean, to be fair though, when was the last time EW even lost more than a couple of health? Like, he's got 9 fucking armor. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take it. I'm just like, I feel like it's probably not gonna come into play very often. And Fool gifted a sub to what message? Fool, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you for the massive generosity and the massive chicken. And what message? Welcome back. Or at least I feel like it's a welcome back. I was gonna say, yeah, there you go. 2 months now. Welcome back to the cult of bad tactical decisions. Let's see. Under the pugilist, you got Counter-Strike. You can now throw free half-damage strike attacks at any enemies who enter or attack from melee range. Does not require the kinetic strike ability, cannot activate on the unit's own turn. So this gives you attacks of opportunity during the enemy turn. So imagine the next time somebody runs up to you and tries to use you as cover, you get to bitch slap them in the face, which you should be able to do by default, but apparently this ability gives you the ability to do that. Let me see, does it have a cooldown? Let's see, if the enemy begins their turn on the adjacent tile, Counter-Strike will trigger if they move to another tile. If an enemy does not begin their turn on an adjacent tile, it will trigger when the enemy moves into melee range. If an enemy begins their turn adjacent, it will not trigger if that enemy moves directly away. So this only takes place within that 1 square around you, basically. If they're in that 1 square zone and then they leave the zone, you don't get the attack on them, apparently. Counter-Strike deals half damage compared to regular kinetic strike. That's fair, but that's still 5 or 6 damage. Like, that could be enough to kill somebody. And gains +1 damage from assault servos. Cannot activate on your own turn. So it doesn't look like there's a cooldown. So basically, if they get in range, you bitch slap them. And the last one is Ammo Conservation. Activated ability that does not cost an action point. For the remainder of this turn, your ammo will be refunded after each shot you take. Holy shit, chat. Imagine if Erst had that ability. Think about that for a second. Because Erst has the core where he can just shoot forever until he runs out of ammo. Imagine if he had this ability where every time he shoots, he gets refunded ammo. He could literally kill everything in sight. And this is why Amalgamation is great, chat. Because this is the War Machine tree, which Erst also has. But he never got this ability. Like, this just didn't show up in his tree. Because the trees can be somewhat randomized. That's why Amalgamation is great, chat. That means that somewhere out there, somebody has gotten the combo of the Overload Core and ammo conservation, and they have a mech that just lays waste to everything. But anyway, there's your choices, EW, so which one you like is up to you. Again, we have the redundant systems that causes you to not have stat penalties from reboot, an ability that you have literally never triggered. You have Counter-Strike, which is basically free attacks of opportunity within a 1 square radius around you, with some caveats. And then Ammo Conservation, where on a 4-turn cooldown, you basically get refunded after every shot. Now, in theory, we could still use this ability with, say, Overdrive. And then you wouldn't necessarily have to burn a free reload. How much does First Sergeant perks cost? Because I feel like 2 is a play here. If I get another promotion in Overclock Core, then we can buy the ammo one. I think it's 20. It's either 20 or 25 points at First Sergeant, I believe. I think it might be 20. Because then it goes up to 30 when you get to Master Sergeant. A one-man nuke? Yeah, no, really. Like, if we somehow got the combination of Overload Core and Ammo Conservation, like, again, that's basically, you just kill everything you see. Because you would never run out of ammo. So you would just continue to shoot until everything was dead and there was nothing left for you to shoot at. If we want to confirm, we can go look at somebody who's already past that stage on their soldier abilities, and if I wanted to buy this, okay, so it's 20 points for First Sergeant abilities. So there we go. There is the confirmation for you, EW. But make your decision fast before I throw it to chat and let them decide. Because you know I'll do it. Chad, get ready. Feel like 2 is better, 3 is a different way to get something I already have. That's fair. Alright, we'll go with 2. That's up to you. Again, your ability tree, your decision. And ammo conservation might come into play later, who knows? We will see. Alright, and then, since Croyd chimed in as well, it is now time to do your promotion, and look at that, Croyd. Yet another of our soldiers making it to that coveted Master Sergeant rank. So Croyd is at that maximum rank. Capsy says, oops, someone forgot notifications was turned off. I forgot about the stream. Well, that's alright, Capsy. You just got in on the tail end of an operation, so there's still plenty of stream to come. Glad to see you, of course. Alright, Croyd, so here we go. Talking about Paramedic Tree, you've got Nightmare Fuel. Chemthrower attacks have a chance to cause panic. Just default passive, really? Let's see. Are there stipulations? Chemthrower attacks have a chance to cause panic, has a 25% chance to cause panic. So 1 in 4 times when we torch somebody, they're gonna freak out, roughly. Then we got Full Override. Take permanent control of a robotic unit. Oh my. I mean, to be fair, Croyd is primarily a hacker. So this essentially means that if they do use Haywire Protocol and they take over an enemy unit, you just keep that unit for the entire mission. And then of course we have both barrels, no one cares because we don't use a sawed-off shotgun. But Croyd, the decision is yours. Either you can have a 25% chance to cause panic, or you can take full control of a robotic unit forever. Well, for the entire mission anyway. Croyd says 2. Alright, we can do that. Well, and that's partly my fault because what I should have done, instead of giving them a med kit, was to give them the gremlin. But we didn't have one, so I didn't see it, and I was just like, oh, whatever. But we can give them that under the tree there. So they just won't have the blast canister, but that's not the end of the world. Actually, now I think about it, do we have any Gremlin Mark IIs? I don't think we do. So, we might need to go grab one. How much do they cost? Engineering. How much does a Gremlin Mark II cost? Oh, 16 supplies and 2 alloys? Sure. That's nothing. I got no problem spending that. There we go. Alright. So there we have it, chat. That's the promotions out of the way. Oh, right. We have one more thing we need to do. We have one more thing. Oh, we can't do it yet. Okay, so currently, Thanosi and General Quarters are on their honeymoon. And we could only do one at a time. So, okay, I'm sorry, we can only upgrade one bond at a time. So, once they get back, we'll be able to send EW and Ven on their honeymoon. Their level 3 honeymoon. Let's see, what are you complaining about? Resistance comms at capacity. Yeah, I know, that's a thing that'll happen. Alright. So, chat, I think it's the 3-hour mark. So you know what time it is. I think it's time to have ourselves BRB. Alright, chat. We are back. We are back. Hopefully you've been enjoying some of the OG Doom soundtrack. This particular track is called Kitchen Ace and Taking Names. Yes, that's a pun, because that's a thing that we did back in the 90s. And you're not wrong, Wasteland. This is, in fact, it literally says in the thing, Roland SC55. So you heard right. You heard right. Anyway, I figured I would share some of my goofy-ass Metroid/Doom images with you. The we are back. Hopefully you had a good BRB. Let us continue putting boat to A. Lamau ass. Because there's still plenty of A. Lamaus out there that we gotta take care of. And don't forget, we just lost a man. We just lost a man. We just lost track tension, everybody. So, there is some vengeance that needs to be meted out. By God. Alright, Doom soundtrack. Listen, I love you. You're awesome. However, we gotta focus up here. We gotta focus up. So yeah, here we are. We're back in the Avenger chat. Now go over here. Have a look.
What will definitely be pissing off the elders this
so
evening.
Again, we've lost 6 total soldiers, chat. 6 total soldiers. Track tension being the most recent.
Sources credit XCOM's mysterious
was on the Avenger for 111 days. Fucking
evil
lost to a
overlords.
Sidewinder of all things. Of all the things that you could die to. I mean, at least it wasn't like an Advent Trooper. Oh, wait. Only spent 4 days in the infirmary. His entire time on the Avenger. Attacked 11 times, dealt 89 damage. Survived 8 attacks. Senseless loss, chat. Senseless loss. That's okay. We're gonna make the A's. We're gonna make the A's remember the name. We're gonna make him remember the name. We are gonna tax that ass until track tension is the only fucking thing they're able to say anymore. Hey, look at that! Can spend 8 days to get another resistance contact, which incidentally is pretty much exactly what we need right now. We've got a couple more regions to make contact with, and we're gonna need resistance contacts to do it, so this might actually be a point of interest worth investigating. Let's see, what else do we have on the map? We got an engineer, which we don't really need. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Because we still have 153 intel though, I think let's hit up the black market, since we haven't really had enough intel to buy anything at the black market for a long time.
Market is open.
Now might be a good opportunity for us to check it out. So Black Market has expressed a particular interest in Illyrium crystals, Advent Purifier corpses, and Warden armor. You want my Warden armor? Why? Well, how much are you offering? 28 space shekels. Chad, I feel like that's not worth it, because it cost us a lot more than 28 space shekels to make a suit of Warden armor. So I don't feel like that's a fair trade. Alright, let's see what they got for sale. We got some alloys, we got a laser sight. Laser sights are okay. But they're definitely not as good as they are in base game. Superior hair trigger, again, okay under certain circumstances. We got a psionic atrophy, increases psi offense by 20 and grants immunity to psionic damage and mental effects. Damage taken from all other sources increased by 33%. Well, that sounded really good until I got to the last sentence, and I was like, ooh, gross. Time to spend an hour at the Guest of Honor pen. Check in with you a bit. Alright, Tribal. Well, good luck. Hopefully it goes well for you. Make sure to be entertaining. Go for the Sectopod Breakdown Rusher Gremlin Mark III. It might be worth it. Might be worth it. Let's see. We could get 173 space shekels. We're not in desperate need of money right now. We don't need an engineer, but God, look at that mustache. I know I said this last time, chat, but look at that mustache. You know this dude fucks. Like, you could just look at that mustache and you just know. We could spend 75 intel, half-hour intel, to get instant research on the Sectopod. Again, that gives us Gremlin Mark III. That could be good, but it's very situational because we only have a couple of hackers. How about this? If, just supposing, if I wanted to make contact with another region, it's only gonna cost 60 intel. So, theoretically,
Market is open.
we could buy the instantaneous Sectopod research and still have enough to make contact with another area. Erst, what I save the intel for is usually to avoid consequences from covert actions, although I guess technically we don't even have to worry about that anymore. Because now with all the Chosen gone, like, we don't have to worry about them getting captured. We rarely have to worry about them getting ambushed. Fuck it. Let's do it. 75 intel, why not? And actually, you know what? The Advent Priest autopsy could help make our psychics a little better. I mean, we only have the one. But part of the reason we're not using a lot of psychics is because we don't, like, we haven't really invested the time or the resources into making our psychics good. And it's only 25 intel. It's very tempting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We can always get more intel, chat. Alright, so now with that done, we just need to get 7 more intel and we'll be able to make contact with another region. In the meantime, I think we head up here and we check out this heat signature.
Avenger plotting new course.
And I don't know. We might actually have to start the research project in order to get the instantaneous. Like I don't think it triggers. I don't think it triggers until we actually start the research project. So, can I stop this? Can we, like, pause this? I don't think I can pause this, chat. Oh, no, we can. Pause project. There we go. Pause. Now, if we go back over here,
As planned, Commander.
change research. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? Okay, chat. If you recall, less than 3 minutes ago, when I spent 100 intel on these researches, and it said it was going to make them instant. And now they're not instant. No, I know what it does, Wasteland. I'm saying it told me when we got it that it was gonna make it instant. It's supposed to show you what the modified time is gonna be when you reduce the time, which would have made it instant. In this case, it didn't do that, and instead has said, well, actually, this is gonna be 2 days, that's gonna be 1 day. Might trigger when the current research is finished. I mean, we could check. I don't like it, though. I don't like it. Let's see.
From what I've been told, our troops took to calling this large robotic unit a sectopod, under the initial assumption that it was being controlled by a sectoid pilot. On closer inspection, we can see that is not the case. Not unlike the mechanized Advent units, which were likely derived from the sectopod itself. This machine seems to be entirely autonomous.
I'll direct our efforts towards the new research project immediately, Commander. Once we've made progress, I'll send word.
Yeah, it's not instant, chat. I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like we got screwed out of our intel, chat. I mean, like somebody said, it is a black market. It's not exactly like we're dealing with the most trustworthy people on the planet, but I still feel like we kind of got... I feel like we got screwed on this one. This is what happens when you trust criminals, chat. Crime doesn't pay. That's what McGruff, the crime dog, says. Anyway. I mean, we could use the opportunity for some upgrades to technology and psionics, so I'm actually okay with spending a couple of days just getting these knocked out. Because most of the rest of the technology that we're going to need is going to be locked behind autopsies anyway. I'm just unhappy that we kind of got screwed out of our intel on this one. And Authentic Intent says, when you beat this game, are you going to play Enemy Unknown? I probably won't. I mean, it's not that I have anything against Enemy Unknown, Authentic Intent. It's just that, like, of the two games, I definitely prefer XCOM 2. And I feel like the modding scene for XCOM 2 is a lot stronger. Again, there's nothing wrong with Enemy Unknown. It's just, I prefer XCOM 2. Surprised you don't go OG XCOM. OG XCOM is a little crunchy even for me these days. Just, like, you have to understand, it's been so long since the last time I played OG XCOM. Like, it would probably take me several streams just to remember what the hell I'm doing. And I feel like that might be interesting for you guys, but it would probably be very frustrating for me. I like to have some level of competence when I sit down to play a game for you guys. Playing Terror from the Deep. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, I played through the OG XCOM, and I played through Terror from the Deep. I loved them back then. They're not exactly user-friendly games, though. And I'm one of those, and you guys can cry blasphemy if you want. I'm one of those people that, like, I struggle without quality of life improvements. Like, don't get me wrong. I fought my way through all the shitty control schemes and stuff in the PlayStation era and the Super Nintendo era. Like, I was there. I was there. I played Metal Gear Solid. But it was not a fun game to play. It was a fun experience. It was not a fun game to play. It was a very clunky game. And, you know, it's like playing the original Resident Evil games, like the first 3 Resident Evil games. God, that shit is painful. It is painful going back to play those games. And again, not to take away from what those games did or what they contributed to, like, the overall gaming landscape, but, like, I've gotten used to games that are actually fun to control and play and that I don't have to fight against in order, like, you know what I mean? I shouldn't have to fight against the game to enjoy it. I shouldn't be enjoying the game in spite of its control scheme. I should be enjoying it as part of the package. So, like, for me, older games are kind of like, There are a few that I will go back and play, especially, like, you know, we played Einhander right before Christmas, just because, you know, that's kind of a timeless control scheme. You're not really fighting against anything. It's just a fun little simple game. Original XCOM's control scheme is fine. You say that, BLM. But there's a lot of, like, for example, I go here, I need to know, you know, what stats does this do and all that. What does Earth's abilities do? It's easy. I just go and mouse over it. I don't have to click on anything. I don't have to hit a hotkey. I don't have to go into, like, 3 different nested menus where I click on this, and then click on this, and then click on this, and then go over here, and then click on that, and then I can finally see what it does. Like, and I get that once you get, like, the flow, you get the rhythm of how all of that works, you can fly through it pretty quickly. I just don't like struggling through it at this point in my life. Like, I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, I have very limited time to play games, and struggling, like, fighting against a game to have fun with it is not really on the cards for me. Like, I don't mind a challenge, don't get me wrong. But I want the challenge to come from the gameplay, not the control scheme. And I know, it doesn't bother everybody. There are some people that have been playing the original XCOM for years, even... Oh, right, there are still people that have been playing it in all the years since it came out, and you're just used to it. Like, it doesn't bother you because you know your way around it. You're familiar with it. You've built up that muscle memory. So another a game that I use as an example of what I'm talking about, and you guys, some of you folks that have been around for a while, you'll notice I've played Astronauts before, and one of the main criticisms of Astronauts is that it's an extremely obtuse game and the control scheme is very counterintuitive. But I've been playing it for a very long time, and I've built up that muscle memory, and so it doesn't bother me. So I can get the enjoyment from the game because I'm not fighting the control scheme. And it's not to say that I couldn't get to that point with XCOM again. Again, if I played it long enough, I would get back to that point. I just don't want to struggle through that, honestly. In some genres, it's the no invert y equals no install. Yeah, and to Capsty's point, so I've said this before, and it's only an issue for me on consoles. But I am an inverted y-axis player. On console only. On computer, I use the mouse by default. I don't invert Y on PC. But if I'm ever playing a console game, I have to have inverted y-axis because that's just my muscle memory. That's just the way my brain works. I literally can't play a game if the y-axis is not invertible. Somehow, I would like to see the boss play Nexus, the Jupiter Incident. Also, I wonder if anyone even knows that. I've heard of it. I don't know what it is, though. I feel like I should. Crappy says, have you ever played Cataclysm? Yes, I have. I have been playing Cataclysm for a very long time. It, in much the same way as Dwarf Fortress, is one of those games that, like, when I was younger and had a lot more spare time on my hands, I didn't mind fighting the interface to get to the fun. And so I still have that muscle memory that I can, you know, play those games and enjoy them. But, yeah, if I was going into Cataclysm today, or going into Dwarf Fortress today, I would immediately bounce off of them. Like, it's not that I don't understand that there's a good game under there, it's just, to me, it's not worth the time investment, I guess. No, I get what you're saying, BLM. And like I said, it's a matter of familiarity. I'm sure I would get used to it after a while. It's just, I don't know how long that's gonna take, and I'd really rather not struggle through it. You know, if it was gonna come down to that, like, again, to me, that part of it is not fun. And mostly I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here to have a good time. Besides, if I was gonna play an XCOM like again, I'd probably go play Xenonauts instead. Because Xenonauts is basically just XCOM but modernized. Like, there's not a whole lot that you're gonna get out of the OG XCOM that you can't get from Xenonauts, but better. But that's just my opinion. Of course, your mileage may vary. Anyway, chat. Chaos Gate. I still haven't played that tedious vocabulary. I wanted to play it when it came out, and I just never bought it. And, like, it looked like a fun game. I just never actually played it. But anyway, chat, let's get this heat signature taken care of so that hopefully we'll be able to get started on unlocking one of the last couple of regions. Looks like Wasteland Wanderer has finished their physical training, their defense conditioning. They've gained the adrenaline ability, 1 additional defense, which isn't a whole lot, but then they also got 11 ability points. So let's continue the training then. Who's gonna be next? We don't actually have that many people left. So let's see. Who just went? None of these folks actually went on an operation recently. So let's see. Who do I see in chat? Grindler, you don't count because you already went through physical training. Yasna already went through physical training. Crappy already went through training. Megas is dead. Get out of here, Megas. Ghosts. Wasteland just finished their training. Man. Who else do we got? Well, you know what? Brewster is the next person that I see up in the chat. So, why not? We'll put Brewster in. So, again, if you don't know how this works, if you're not familiar with how this works, over here on the center of the right side of the screen are your stats for the character currently. Any green pluses or red minuses are usually going to be from either abilities or equipment that you currently have equipped. The numbers in blue are going to be your base stats. And then any of these stats we can upgrade. I can't tell you by how much, but that will depend entirely on random chance. So, just based on where you are at in terms of your skills, because you're already relatively high rank, these stats are not going to increase a whole lot more for you. Your dodge stat is already really high, so it might be worth putting some investment into that. Mobility is always a good stat to improve. Defense is also always a good stat to improve. You could potentially put some points into health as well. 8 health isn't terrible, but it is on the low end for a character of your rank. Keep in mind, though, you are going to be getting armor and additional health from most of the armor that you wear, so it's not like you're going to be going into the fight with only 8 health. You'll definitely have more than that. But the choice is yours. Have to reinstall Epic to play Phoenix Point. Yeah. And Thanosi gifted a sub to Griffin Swift Blade. Thanosi, thank you for the massive generosity and the massive chicken. And Griffin, welcome back to the Cult of Bad Tactical Decisions. We're always glad to have people reconscripted into the cult. We could always use more bodies for the good work. The good work of untactical operations. Doing the disco dance of death. I volunteer for glorious and hilarious death if needed. Driftnear, you can always spend your points to get your name in the game. I did say last stream, though, I'm kind of holding off on doing any more people in the game for right now, because we're getting pretty close to the end of the campaign, and I don't want anybody to have to spend the points to get into the game, and then, you know, their character only gets to go on like 1 or 2 missions, and then the game is over. So short of like a disaster where we lose like a whole squad or something and I have to bring in a bunch of people, I'm probably not going to put anybody else in the XCOM campaign, just because I want people who put their name in the game to have an opportunity to actually establish a character and, you know, for them to become a part of the narrative of that particular playthrough. And I just don't see a whole lot of opportunity for that to happen this late in the campaign for new people. Can Overwatch after sprint, so mobility? I mean, if that's what you want to do, Brewster. I pass no judgment. I'm not going to put a finger on the scale. It is entirely your decision. Should have it up by the next game. And that's the thing, Dragon Master, is I may not even play a game that has the ability to put people in the game. Like, sometimes I just play games that are kind of just a one-off thing. There's not like any character customization or anything like that. But that's why I write all the names down. So, like, for everybody that redeems their name in the game, like, I have it written down, so you will be in a game at some point. I just can't say when exactly. Right now, the waiting list is actually pretty short, just because most of the people that were on the list have been put into the game at this point. Let me see. I'm gonna check real quick, just because I'm curious now. So I have 1, 2, 3 names on the list currently, and of those names, 2 of them are not going to be in XCOM because they're already in XCOM, but they had enough points to go ahead and redeem again. Brewster says health since I'm feeling paranoid. Alright, we can give you some HP then. Alright, there we go. And that bond training is complete, so we should... Wait, what the hell? Hold the fucking phone. The game said... The game said that we had... Who was it? It was Vin and EW that were available to upgrade their bond. And then now all of a sudden it's not giving me the option to do that. Move, EW. Get your chunky ass out of the way. Yeah, like their bond is maxed out, but for some reason it's not giving me the opportunity to improve their bond. Okay, yes, no, I got that. Thank you. I want to be able to put... Why? Why? Is it because you guys are all cacked up in the infirmary? Is that why? Because you both got beat up a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, Ven is out for 14 hours. And EW is ready. So, that's what it is. That's what it is. Shortly we will be sending them on the honeymoon chat. In the meantime, let's continue to get these resistance contacts. Sleepy Brain continues. I blame the SBLT. What's an SBLT? I mean, I know what a BLT is. What's a SBL? What's the S in SBLT?
This will prove to be an important step forward.
Okay, there's the sectopod breakdown, so we can upgrade our gremlins.
Back in the day. Despite a lot of speculation, there was
and our holo targeters as well. Nice. Synaptic Booster grants the soldier superior capability in all reaction situations, changing hit rolls to be more favorable by 1 stage. So we've seen abilities. Ah, I see. The S is Salami. Alright, sounds good. I like it. But yeah, we've seen this in an ability where basically it upgrades the hit rolls, where like, if you get a dodge, it makes it a graze. If you get a graze, it makes it a hit, that kind of thing. So this is just a genetic ability that does the same thing. So we could potentially give this to soldiers who don't necessarily have that ability in their skill tree. And I see you, Wasteland. Hydration incoming. Alright. Let's see. Crappy Sniper's still undergoing their whole thing. Let's go ahead and we'll do the 1-day research on the priest. That'll give us advanced psionic study.
The Advent priest has up until recently been rarely sighted outside the city center. While not physically intimidating, much like the elders themselves, these priests are deceivingly powerful psionic beings. Even in death, their remains still radiate with powerful afterimages of psi energy.
So being that Advent priest was laying on its stomach, I have no choice but to assume that Tigan was stuffing his arm up its butt. Sorry, chat. I will not be convinced otherwise. Alright. Let's fast forward a little time so that we can send Ven and EW on their honeymoon. Rapid response. Aliens improve their threat response procedures, guaranteeing reinforcements on all guerrilla ops for a month. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, there's the priest autopsy.
Outcome, though it is intriguing.
And there we go. We got a new item, the Sustaining Sphere and Psionics Ex Machina. Sustaining Sphere is an emergency fail-safe mechanism that automatically activates when a soldier is on the brink of death, placing them in temporary suspension to extend their life. The sphere can only be used in combat once, will be permanently removed from the soldier's inventory once activated. Unfortunately, we have to burn a priest corpse to build every one of those, so sadly we are not going to be building any of those. I am not wasting corpses on temporary, disposable equipment. If this was a permanent thing that I could put on a soldier, I would absolutely use this on some of our lower ranked people so that shit like that happened to fucking track tension would not happen as often. And then... yeah, it's not giving us any other psychic research, so let's go ahead and resume the research on the plasma lance.
Begin our research immediately.
But I'm gonna go unpause the shadow projects, which Chad, I don't remember what I was actually researching. Oh, I guess it was this. Alright, there we go. And our boys are ready to go. Chat, look at that. EW and Ven finally ready. Take that relationship to the next level. Honeymoon level 3, chat. We've only had a couple of pairs of people make it to this level in their bond. So this is an impressive level of between operations snuggling. There's been a lot of pillow talk in this relationship, chat. A lot of pillow talk. And I'm not gonna be the fucking I'm not gonna be the cur, the Philistine that's gonna ask them what they were talking about or what made them think that now was the best time. But you know what? You love to see love bloom on a battlefield, chat. So let's send him on that. Let's send him on that honeymoon. What are we doing? Training abilities. What does that even mean? Okay, that's all that means. Got it. Alright. There we go, chat. Back to the geoscape we go. XCOM is basically the sacred band of thieves at this point. Yeah, I could see that. You're not entirely wrong.
Our soldiers took some hits during the most recent covert action, but word from the medical team is they'll all be fine.
Well, we got a superior autoloader, which I believe gives us 3 free reloads per mission, so that's actually a really good upgrade. Let's see what's up next. So we could go for loot, we could go for a soldier bond, we could slow the avatar progress. I mean, chat, again, 19 ability points isn't the worst thing in the world. We could send somebody out to give him ability points. Or we could gain resistance contacts. Because we're gonna need another one anyway. Like, we're working on one right now, but we're gonna need another one. Because we've got West Africa and South Africa that we still have to make contact with. We're only gonna get one contact, probably. So maybe it's worth it to do this one? It's only 4 days? I mean, you're not wrong, Yasna. I can understand why that would be such a slap in the face for you on account of the whole, you know, you and your man were trying to go on this honeymoon for like 3 months and just everything kept getting in the way. It was a different war back then. It was a different war then. I apologize. It's just that's the way it goes sometimes. Let's see. We'll send you, and fan service is currently injured, so we'll send out Ryder instead. And that'll knock it down to 3 days.
Understood, Commander. My followers will appreciate the support of your soldiers.
Alright. What else? What else do we got in the queue? We got a supply drop in about a day. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get an op triggering here shortly. Like, we're either gonna get guerrilla ops or a retaliation mission. Like, something's gonna pop off here shortly. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what it... Okay, construction of a new facility. Oh no, this is the event. Step up their construction effort, reducing the alien facility counter by 2 weeks. Again, I'm okay with that. More black sites is more loot. Hopefully not more dead soldiers.
Priority message coming.
All right,
through,
here's
Putting it
the
on
end of the month,
screen
chat. Time to get a paycheck.
I had high hopes for the Resistance under your leadership, Commander, and you have outdone yourself.
And Optimus Prime is happy with us. Plus, we get another 600 space shekels. And I want you to look at that. Look at this, right down here at the bottom, chat. Alien rulers killed, 1. And, that was the last one. Yeah, we don't care about the chosen activity, because they're all dead! Let's see. Aliens seek to overrun XCOM, placing extra chrysalids on most missions for the month. I definitely want to counter that if we can. Advent invested in improving their battle gear, adding armor to some of their soldiers. That we kind of don't want to deal with either. Shit, these are really bad. And I would love to spend the intel to reveal this, but I'm saving the intel so we can make contact with another region. So we'll just have to let the Lord decide. Alright, so we should get our stuff instantly. Because of the order, we're gonna immediately knock down 1 pip of avatar progress. And we get our 600 space shekels. So, let's go hog wild, chat. It's time. So let's see. We can build items. We've got some level 3 stuff here. So, like, for example, we can get the Gremlin Mark III instead of the Mark II. The Mark III we have, or the Mark II we have 3 of. So if possible, I'd like to get 3 of these. I'm just debating on whether it's worth it, because it's a lot of Illyrium crystals. Like, normally it's more alloy than crystals, but this time it's more crystals than alloy. So... Tell you what, we'll do 2. We'll do 2. Then we'll grab the holo-targeter for... God, who is it? Is it Max Dammit? I think it's Max Dammit that's using the holo-targeter. Somebody's using a holo-targeter. So let's get back to the barracks, make sure we got our people with the right stuff. Where is our mans? Where is he? He's in here somewhere. I mean, obviously Croyd. Croyd is getting the Gremlin Mark III. But where is Sierra's goofy ass? There you are. You're also getting the Gremlin Mark III. There we go. Now, I think that's everything that we kind of had on our wish list for the time being, right? Am I missing something, chat? Because you have the beam cannon, but we already bought one of those. I think we have 2 of the Illyrium phase cannons. If we had more crystals, I'd be willing to buy a 3rd one, but for right now, we'll just have to trade them in between our mech troopers. I mean, we could get the powered bit for Erst, because he's using the bit. But like everything else is kind of just like, you know, we're good. We got the kinetic strike, we get the vibro blade. We could take some different types of canisters maybe. So you get the flame canister, a blue screen canister. We could take this instead of blue screen rounds. Basically a flamethrower version of the blue screen rounds. So if we had a bunch of robots in one area, we could potentially hit them all in a single turn. Acid canister. Oh, chat. Chat, acid shreds armor and the blast canister doesn't. If we replaced our blast canisters with acid canisters, that would give our flamethrowers the ability to shred armor. What else do we have? What else do we have? Is that it? I think that's it. But that actually seems like a really good idea now that I think about it. Like, the ability to say, hey, you know, anybody with a flamethrower can not only shred armor, but can shred armor across multiple enemies at the same time. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, BLM. Like, they have to actually hit the target. But assuming that they do, I mean, like, for example, the previous mission, we could have hit the sectopod and that mech at the same time with an acid spray and potentially strip the armor off of both of them in a single shot. Does it take away their normal damage? I mean, it'll still do damage because acid does damage anyway. But here's the thing. I think it's better than the blast canister anyway, because the acid canister not only strips armor, but it also does damage over time. I feel like it's stupid to not take these then, by that rationale. I'm doing it, chat. Let's give our dudes some acid. I'm gonna buy 2, so that way in the event that we take 2 flamethrowers on the same mission, we can take acid for both. And then just for fun, just for fun, I'm gonna take a blue screen canister. I honestly don't think we're ever gonna use it. But I'm gonna take one anyway just so we have it. And then armor, I don't think, I mean, we could make some more rage armor, we could make some more snake armor. I mean, we could definitely make more armor. I'm not going to, but we could. Alright. Let me, you know what, I'll save that for the mission setup.